To make matters worse, Apatosaurus lost its head. Honestly, because the original skeleton was found without a head, no one was sure what Apatosaurus's skull looked like. For nearly 100 years, models and drawings in museums all over the world showed it with no head or the wrong head. Finally, the skull was located in a museum basement, and Apatosaurus could once again hold its head up proudly. Or maybe not. Recent evidence indicates that Apatosaurus and other dinosaurs with long, elegant necks may not have been able to lift their heads far off the ground. For many years, experts believed that these vegetarian dinosaurs reached their necks into the treetops to dine, like giraffes. Recently, however, computer modeling has revealed that the positioning of their neck bones would have prevented them from raising their heads any higher than about 12 feet. While it may have been able to rear up on its hind legs to snag treetop treats, more often, Apatosaurus probably reached its long neck across creeks or other obstacles as it grazed for food along the ground. We finally have a complete picture of Apatosaurus, but there's a lot more to learn. Computer images. To create these images of Apatosaurus and its neck movements, scientists entered information about the size, number, and positioning of the animal's neck bones into a computer, which figured out just how far the dino could move its neck up and down and sideways. Noisy tails? What would you do with a 50-foot, 3,500-pound tail? Scratch your own nose? Go fishing? Apatosaurus may have had a better idea. Computer modeling shows that these dinosaurs could have cracked their tails like a whip. 3 feet thick at the body, the tail thinned to a narrow tip about the width of a human thumb. As the dino lashed it, a wave of energy would have traveled down to the tip, arriving at a speed faster than that of sound, more than 750 miles per hour. When something moves that fast, it breaks the sound barrier, creating a loud noise. A cracking dino tail would have made a huge, thundering clap, loud enough, perhaps, to scare off an enemy. But some scientists think that such supersonic tail wagging is unlikely because it would have hurt or damaged the dino's tail. After all, they remind us just because the computer says it was possible doesn't mean it actually happened that way. Listening to the bones. Computers have become a valuable tool to help paleontologists picture dinosaurs better. Scientists can now even hear what dinosaurs might have sounded like. Consider Parasaurolophus, an odd-looking fellow. A large, bony crest extended from the top of its head back over its shoulders. Handsome, perhaps, but what did the crest do? Some scientists think it may have been a weapon or even a snorkel, but no evidence supports these ideas. How about a trombone? When a nearly complete Parasaurolophus skull was found in New Mexico, computer scientists and paleontologists joined forces to see if the head crest might actually have been a noisemaker. Snorkel? Weapon? Noisemaker? Parasaurolophus's curious crest has scientists guessing. Snorkeling Brachiosaurus. Apatosaurus and its cousins, the longnecks, weighed more than any other creature that ever lived. For a long time, scientists thought that the only way these huge animals could move their massive bodies must have been in the water. Their long necks would keep their heads up so that they could breathe as they walked along a lake or river bottom, grazing on soft aquatic plants. But modern scientists wondered, wouldn't the water's pressure collapse the great creature's lungs and disable its heart? Probably so, which made scientists imagine that the longnecks may have wandered on land after all. New research reveals yet another possibility. Sometimes, along trackways where dinosaur footprints have been preserved, scientists find only front footprints. In ancient times, these trackways may have been underwater. Could the longnecks actually float, touching the bottom with only their front feet? That way, they could live in water without their giant bodies being deeply submerged. Computer modeling shows that this may have been possible, especially since we now know that the creatures had tiny air sacs along their spines that would help them stay afloat. The catch? If they lost contact with the bottom, they would probably tip over. They took scans of the inside of the crest with special imaging equipment so that they wouldn't have to break it open. Then they used the scans to model a three-dimensional image of the crest. They found that it was filled with a complicated series of hollow tubes and chambers. When the computer created the sounds made by blowing air through the crest, the scientists heard an eerie, deep rumbling tone. Were the scientists hearing a sound not made on Earth since the dinosaurs lived here? Who can know? This computer image shows the complicated tubes and chambers in the fossil of the Parasaurolophus's crest. If we only had a brain. Sue, the largest, most complete Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton ever found, lives at Chicago's Field Museum. To learn more about Sue's brain, experts there packed up her skull, left, and shipped it off for CT scanning. Done with powerful X-rays, the scanning created detailed images of the inside and outside of Sue's head. While the brain itself is long gone, these images below enable scientists to judge its size with the help of the computer. Looking at the inside of the skull, they can tell that the brain was about a foot long. It appears that nearly half of it, shown in yellow at the lower right, was used for smelling.
Think critically. 1. What did ancient people believe about the dinosaur bones they found? Why did they believe what they did? 2. Does the author think that paleontologists have an easy job? Explain your answer with details from the selection. 3. Think back to a time when you came across an object you had never seen before. What did you do to figure out what it was? 4. Do you think that what scientists today believe about dinosaurs will be the same many years from now? Explain. 5. Write. What are some ways in which computers have helped paleontologists learn about dinosaurs? Use details and information from the selection to support your answer.